This is Storytelling with Puppets, and the story this time is called Mr. Gumpy's Outing. It's adapted from the book by John Burningham. Now, to tell Mr. Gumpy, you need to have a Mr. Gumpy, and this isn't the guy I use, but really any human puppet will do. It could be a Mrs. Gumpy too if you want to do it that way. You need a handful of other puppets. I don't use all of the animals that are mentioned in the book. It just takes a little bit longer, and I often do this story for toddlers, so I want it to be pretty short and sweet. So today I'm going to use a child, a rabbit, a cat, a dog, a pig, and a cow. And then you also need a boat, and for a boat I just have a plastic lid to a big tub, but really anything flat will work fine. Cardboard doesn't really matter. You don't really want a box with edges because the puppets are going to be gathering in this boat and you want them all to be fairly visible. So here's how the story goes. This is Mr. Gumpy. Mr. Gumpy lived right by the river, and he had a boat. One day he got into the boat to take a ride down the river. When along came, and now I'm reaching into my bag and getting out my first puppet, and this puppet, this child puppet, kind of hard to get on one-handed, so I don't care about that. I just get Mr. Gumpy over there and helps me get him on, and then he's like that. The kids don't really matter, that slight interruption. Along came a child. Hi, Mr. Gumpy. Can I go with you? Well, yes, you may, but you mustn't squabble. Oh, no, I won't squabble. So the child got into the boat. And then along came, before we do the next one, the child getting into the boat. This is a puppet that doesn't stand up at all, so he just kind of flops down into the boat, and he looks like this, almost like he's passed out or something like that. But that's really okay. I'd love it if he could sit there nicely on the edge, but it just doesn't work. But the kids aren't so interested in that. They know the child's on the boat. They're wondering who's going to come next. So, and then along came a rabbit. Hello, Mr. Gumpy. May I come with you? Well, you may, Rabbit, but you mustn't hop about. Oh, no, I won't hop about. So the rabbit got into the boat. And one thing about this book, the language in it, it's not a lot of words, but the author uses some good phrases and words that don't show up that often in books, so I like to keep those. So the child squabbling, or the pig mucking about. Nice rich vocabulary from a pretty simple story. The other nice thing is each of those words will be repeated at the end, so the kids kind of get it reinforced, and they might just remember some of those words. And then along came a cat. Hello, Mr. Gumpy, may I come too? Well, you may come, cat, but don't chase the rabbit. No, I won't chase the rabbit. Good, then get on down there. And then along came a dog. Hello, Mr. Gumpy. And before we get to the dog, one thing, when I'm doing stories like this with toddlers, lots of times when an animal pops out of the bag, sometimes I'll prompt them to identify the animal, so it might be along came, who came next? A dog. Yeah, and they'll do that. So sometimes I'll do that with this story. Another thing I do a lot with stories like this is along came a dog, and then I'll ask them, and what does the dog say? Because they love to fill in those animal sounds. Ruff, ruff. I don't do that with this story. To me, having those animal sounds just disrupts the flow just enough for me to not want to do it. If they say it, I'll go along with it, but I don't really prompt it. So anyway, along came a dog. Hello, Mr. Gumpy. Can I come with you? Well, you may, dog, but mind you, don't tease the cat. No, I won't do that. So the dog got into the boat, which was getting pretty full. But before they could take off, guess who came along? It was a pig. Hello there, Mr. Gumpy. Can I come with you? Yes, you may, pig, but make sure you don't muck about. No, I won't muck about. So the pig got into the boat. Then, cow came along. Hello, Mr. Gumpy. May I join you? Well, you may, cow, but please don't trample. No, I won't trample. So the cow got into the boat. And Mr. Gumpy pushed off from the riverbank, and they floated down the river. and everything went fine for a while. And now at this point I'm taking Mr. Gumpy off, because he doesn't need to do anything for a while, so I can quickly find all the different puppets and have them do what they need to do. Everything went fine for a while, until the child squabbled. Squabble, 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 squabble. And the rabbit hopped about. Hop, hop, hop. And now the child is going back off my hand as I try to find the next one. The cat chased the rabbit. Meow, meow, meow. And the dog teased the cat. Na, 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 na. And then the pig mucked about. Muck, 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 muck. The cow trampled, 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 trampled. And the boat tipped over. I just like to do this, kind of slow it down here so they can anticipate it and watch it all take place. And the boat tipped over and everyone fell into the river. Just let them take that in for a minute. But then everyone swam to the shore, and now I just gather them up randomly. I don't care what order they are or how they look. I just kind of want them all in my arms. Everyone swam to the shore, and they lay down on the riverbank to dry out in the sun. And when they were all dry, Mr. Gumpy said, let's all walk back to my house and we can have some tea. And when they were done with their tea, Mr. Gumpy said to everyone, let's go out again tomorrow. And that is the end of Mr. Gumpy's outing. And that is one way to tell Mr. Gumpy's outing with puppets.